A very good afternoon to everyone present here. Today, on the final day of Campus Ready program sponsored by Barclays in collaboration with Up to Skills and Global Talent Track, I, Pragya Satakshi, a student of BCA second semester, once again welcome everyone for connecting with us. Success usually comes to those who are too busy to be looking for it, said Henry David. With this beautiful quote, I would like to have the privilege to thank our visionary chairman, Sir Dr. R.K. Tandon, under whose leadership and vision Trinity is flourishing. I would also like to thank our versatile director, ma'am, Professor Dr. Barkha Behel, for always encouraging and emphasizing on quality of education. I'm truly grateful to our dynamic HOD, ma'am, Dr. Mukta Sharma, for always encouraging us and providing us the platform to excel. The great American historian Henry B. Adams had once said, "A teacher affects eternity. You can never tell where his influence starts." Once again, on behalf of entire Trinity fraternity, I would like to welcome our distinguished speaker of the day, Mr. Gaurang Satum, with a bunch of orchids. Thank you, sir, for providing us the valuable learning with so much fun. The 5-day program has definitely brought us the change in our way of thinking, speaking, and dealing with our weaknesses. Your wonderful ice-breaking activities, be it Romeo and Juliet or guessing the rainbow-colored picture, have involved the students instantly. The activities like time management using pizza slices or playing the quizzes let us so grossly involved that we kept on learning new techniques without even realizing that we are studying. The kind of problem techniques that the way to ask questions, to evaluate question, whether it is an open-ended or close-ended question, and how we should respond to it. You have told the techniques through which we can excel in our interviews, the email etiquettes, all were a new learning to all of us. Your mind mapping technique was really awesome. Sir, I must appreciate the technique, the teaching methodology through which you glued us all and you have inculcated so many important concepts to us. A big thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and presence. Now, I would request you to kindly illuminate us with your valuable words.
Thank you so much, Pragya. That was, that was nostalgia for me from past 5 days what we had, and I wasn't counting days as such, but unfortunately today seems to be the last day. So much of learning that even I have picked up. I have a diary that I maintain always, and once I complete my session, I make a note of everything that was completed or few new learnings that I picked up from a particular session. So I think it's a win-win situation. There's something that you learned and there's something that I did as a trainer. So thanks for that. So since today being the last day, a few things are planned which we all need to complete. Unfortunately, considering the time that we have, it's important that we complete those things in the given time frame. So just a minute, I'll quickly stop sharing the banner. So again, I'm just also sharing the banner for Global Talent Track associated with Barclays. Just a minute. All right, so a little icebreaker to start with. Okay, so I'm not really sure if you all have had lunch. So the first question is, like you have this bowl and rice in front of you, and there are two items that you can add. What is something that you'll choose to add? Of course, I've heard some really weird combinations by students, but I'll throw the dice and see how it goes. Of course, so dal rice is a very common combination, but apart from dal rice, what is it that you'd enjoy having? Okay, yes, Pragya, all-time favorite curd rice. Okay, chili sauce and cottage cheese. Never tried that. White sauce pasta. Interesting. Rajma, all-time favorite. Chicken rice, okay. Milk and sugar, which will end up being kheer. Okay, wonderful. Have tried that, but didn't really think of being into a kheer in those grounds. Moongfali chutney, okay, never tried that. Biryani, okay, fair enough. Any other observations? Chili paneer and chicken, okay, interesting. One good part about this session is this is after lunch, I believe. So I'm sure most of y'all have had lunch by now, right? Um, okay, wonderful. Let's wait for more students. Rachna has given me an idea today that I'm going to try. She says Maggi masala. Trust me, I've not tried that before. Shivam says chicken curry. Okay, rajma and lemon. Okay, all right, fair enough. Never tried the lemon part, but yeah, rajma and lemon seems interesting. Fair enough. All right, so let's quickly take a pause here. Great responses, very creative. I've also had a student telling me that they've tried ice cream, vanilla ice cream with rice. I was stumped for a minute with the thought of vanilla ice cream with rice. I'm not sure how many of y'all have explored it, but anyway. Okay, so I want to share a little quote. Okay, great. Akshat says salt. I want to share a little quote with all of you. Now, the best part about and the worst part about your family not being around is the fact that you get to be in those WhatsApp groups, right? Where you receive those good morning messages, right? And those blurred images of different flowers. I'm sure you guys have been through that situation where our parents happen to send us some motivational quotes or a flower which is pretty much blurred and good morning written on it. So I had my grandparents send this quote to me in one of our WhatsApp group, and I thought of posting it here. And I mean, it's so true, right? It says successful people don't reach their goals alone. You're not successful until you help others succeed. Do we agree? Okay, Nidhi says yes. Can you think of a profession that does not involve communicating with other people? Is there any profession in this world where you're not dependent on anybody or anybody is not dependent on you? No? Okay. So I still remember, I think 2 days ago, I asked this question to you. I said, can you think of somebody who has been successful in your life? You also, a few of you all named few people and said, these are the people whom I know who are successful with the help of other people, right? And which is a fact, right? When we are born as social beings, and it's important for us to connect with people in order to grow in our life, right? Very little is something that we can achieve alone. So when we say successful people don't reach their goals alone, I want to share a little quote with all of you. It says, the first one says, we cannot not communicate. Is that true? Do we agree we cannot not communicate, or we disagree? I would love to hear some voice if we have students unmuting themselves. If they have the option to unmute themselves, I would love to hear some human voice. Yeah. Anybody at all? We cannot not communicate. Try to encode the message. Okay. Nidhi says not all time, but sometimes we use gestures to express ourselves. Gestures are also part of your communication, right, Nidhi? When you nod your head like this, you know you're saying no. You don't have to say it from your mouth. So that's also communication, right? So right from the time you get up in the morning till the time you go to bed, you're always communicating. Correct. Now the first one says we always like we cannot not communicate is true. Correct. Non-verbal communication, Padmini, is also communication. Remember that, right? So the whole statement we cannot not communicate is true because we are communicating every time. And the second statement says it's not we who communicate, it's our attitude that do, right? So, ask yourself this question. There are few people who are comfortable with us, and there are few people who are not. Most likely because they don't like our company. And how do we know they don't like our company? It's majorly on the basis of their attitude. They don't like to talk to us, they ignore us, or they don't look at us when we are talking to them, or when we are approaching them, they'll move away. For a fact that they don't like our company, right? So most of the time it's not we who are communicating, it's our attitude that does most of the time. And that's how people form perceptions about us, right? So perception management is one such thing that we all need to work at, because sometimes when people look at you and they form a perception, right? Just by looking at you, the way you stand, the way you sit, the way you talk, the way you walk, you form perceptions, right? So these two statements are somewhat true. Let me invite one student and narrate the most recent movie that he or she has watched. So, somebody who would like to unmute and narrate a movie that you have watched recently. It could be a series as well, a web series that you watched. Anyone? Okay, I'll go with the host, Pragya. Come on. Any movie or any series that you have watched?
More than 5 or 6 months, I haven't watched any series or movies.
Okay. So, in your most favorite movie, come on.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
My most favorite movie is Three Idiots.
Okay, Three Idiots. All right. So, can you tell me who's your favorite character from that movie? Who's your favorite character from that movie?
Sir, am I audible? Like,
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
sir, I said Amir Khan.
Oh, Amir. Okay. So, do you think only Amir Khan was responsible for that movie's success?
Everyone, even though the person who were not in the movie, like who created the movie, who managed the film direction and film production, everyone was responsible for the success of the movie.
Okay. So, okay, wonderful. Thanks, Pragya. You just
Thank you, sir.
made it so simple for me. Thank you. Um, okay, so I'm just going to put that in the chat box for you. It's exactly what Pragya communicated to me, and she explained a beautiful concept to us called value chain. Right. So, what is value chain? Value chain basically means directly or indirectly, there are a lot of people who are adding value to your life. Right. Just as this movie Three Idiots, she said my favorite film star is Amir Khan in that movie because I loved his acting. Right. And then she also said there are more people who are working behind the scenes are also responsible for the movie's success, right? She mentioned director, production, co-actors, right? So when you look at value chain as a concept, and when we talk about the interpersonal skills, the first thing to understand is you put yourself in the middle of the value chain and ask ourselves who are those people who are directly and indirectly influencing my life, who are adding value to my life. The problem is directly wale dikh jate hain because they're right in front of us. Like for example, Amir Khan and co-actors are in front of the screen, so we know that they're directly influencing the movie, right? But when it comes to indirectly, it's very difficult to identify. Pragya, do you know the name of the director of the movie or the producer's name?
The director's name is, I think, Rajkumar Hirani.
Okay, great, very cool. Yeah, okay, wonderful, no problem. So of course it's not important for you to know because you were not a part of that movie. You were just as an audience, right? But when you look at value chain as a concept and you try to relate this, you say you put yourself in the middle of the value chain. You go towards the right and ask ourselves who are those people who are directly influencing my life. Now, if I have to ask my value chain for today, it will be one, global talent track, and of course up to skills team. I think because of their coordination, or without them being around me, I don't think this training would have been successful, right? So there are so many people I can name Tushar, who's coordinating for global talent track. We've created a separate group where we're interacting continuously, right? And we keep updating what's going to when the session will start, how is it the flow going to be, and all of that, right? So that is one important element of my value chain. They're visible because they're in front of me, right? Second are my participants. If my participants don't turn up for the session, what will happen? The session won't happen, right? So second are my participants. But there are also some people who are playing some excellent background work, but somehow we don't recognize them. Yesterday I told you this, right? The Wi-Fi service provider who's giving me Wi-Fi. It's important for me to know that person's name. If I don't know that person's name, most likely it'll be difficult for me to maintain relationships with him. I'll tell you something that happens to me most of the times. So this is a very funny incident. Apparently, whenever the Wi-Fi goes off, I live in a society where there are 7 buildings, right? And each of these building, there's one common Wi-Fi service provider guy. And every time the Wi-Fi goes off, he keep getting multiple calls because there are 7 buildings and, say, for example, 3,000 flats. So of course you can imagine the number of calls that he gets. And there's a lady that he has appointed at the reception to pick up those calls, and she always happened to pick up my call. So apparently she'll miss out on everybody's call, but she'll also pick up my call, also send a message to me later on that the Wi-Fi is on. She doesn't do that for anybody else. Now the reason why is because I have invested in that relationship, and it's so important to do that, right? Now, for example, I'm connected with 200 students or 150 students today. I cannot play around with the lady who's giving me Wi-Fi, right? Who's giving me business indirectly, right? So of course I have to be kind, and of course I have to maintain a good relationship. So that's value chain, right? Indirectly, there's also my maid who's coming and cooking. Now, for example, if she wouldn't be here, I wouldn't sit and prepare for my sessions, right? So I think she's also an important element and adding value to my life. So when we put yourself in the middle, go to relationship towards the right may, it's easily visible. You know that, of course, these are the people who are in front of me. Now at college level, you will say your professors, your family, your parents, but indirectly also there are so many people who are helping you, right? So for example, you're going for an interview today, there is the auto driver who is also picking you from one particular place to dropping you to that interview room, is also an important part of your value chain. Remember that, right? Otherwise you would have to walk. So I hope this value chain concept is clear, right? It broadly describes interpersonal skills. It says we are directly, indirectly responsible. Let's recognize and identify them, because if we don't recognize people who are adding value to our life, we won't be able to build relationships with them. किसके साथ build करें, पता ही नहीं किसके साथ करना है. And again, जो सामने दिखते हैं उनके साथ ही करना है, या there are also somebody who is doing the background work, उनके साथ भी करना जरूरी है. Like for example, there are times where my maid doesn't come up, my family shows up with food, and the only reason why they do it, because I share a good bond with them. There are times that I have walked, or walked, taken an auto, whatever mode of transport I had, when they didn't have an option to cook, I had to go and get them food. And now when I don't have it, they're helping me here. So see, this is the kind of relationship or bond that you need to build with people who are indirectly influencing and also directly influencing. I can't play around with my participants. I cannot sit through my session unprepared, right? So again, it will be the biggest blunder that I can ever think of. The biggest nightmare is me not sitting and preparing for my session, because my students invest 2 hours, 1 hour, whatever time, and they demand that I give my best, and that can only come from preparation, right? So I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes. I want you to prepare a value chain for yourself, and then later on, this will be your own personal value chain. Okay, you put yourself in the middle, okay, and go to relationship, 3 relationship towards right. Ask yourself who are the people who are adding value to your life. Then go towards the left and ask yourself who are those people who are indirectly adding value to your life. Remember, there are also students who write alarm clock. Do you want to build relationship with an alarm clock? No, right? So you don't have to mention objects, you have to mention people, because people are going to be responsible for your success and not things, right? So take 2 to 3 minutes, make a value chain of yourself. This is going to be your own personal value chain. We will build another value chain of which is more related to work. Let's start with the personal value chain first. I hope it is clear. Do we have any questions? I hope you've understood. That's the whole. I mean, if you don't understand it, there's no point.
So we have understood.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks. So I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes. Probably make your value chains and post it in the chat box. And once you make it, know for a fact that you have to maintain relationships with them, because if you want to succeed in life, those are the people who are going to be of help to you. So Adarsh, people see Adarsh's question is, please tell what to do in case of perception who judge us just by seeing the person. So understand one thing, students, this is a human psychology. Every time you see somebody, you're going to judge someone, right? Positive, negative depends upon the impression that we have formed. So perception is something that you cannot control. right? When somebody is, and you cannot stop that people to think about you. People will. All that you can do is you can manage your perception by yourself. Right? You can look good. Now people might say whatever they want to say, but your job is to look good. Right? For example, in this particular training, my job is to ensure that I sit and I train and I prepare. Participant jo bhi bole, right? I'm doing my job, right? So even in my sessions, guys, there are times where students don't enjoy the session. They say, "Kya hai? Why are you sitting here? What are you doing? What rubbish are you talking?" But at the end, I know for a fact that whatever I'm doing is with experience, exposure, and there are people who are actually benefiting from it, and that's more important. So everything that you do will have pros and cons. So that doesn't mean that you'll stop doing it, right? That's a nice one, Vaishali. Your perception of me is a reflection of you. Wonderful. True, so true. What you think about me highly talks about you and not me, right? So that's a nice one, Vaishali. Okay, let's take 2 to 3 minutes, post a value change in the chat box, and then probably we'll proceed. Kyle? Harshit says, like that, there's a contribution of women in the success of men. Yeah, correct. I mean, even men contribute in women's success, and women contributes to a man's success, right? So each of us are adding value to each other's life. So yeah. See, the concept is directly, indirectly, who are the people who are influencing you, helping you grow, adding value to your life, right? The first step is recognizing them. उसके बाद हम देखेंगे how to build relationships with them. Now the important इसीलिए है क्योंकि end of the day those are the people who will be there for you, right? And who will be there to support you, to guide you, to help you grow in your careers, right? Let's be a little quick, please, because I have an agenda in my mind which I have to complete. So please ensure that you are a little quick in your responses. It's completely fine if you choose to do this later, but if you could get this done a little sooner, that would be great, so that I can move ahead and we can continue with the session. Okay, I get one response from Pragya. Pragya says family, friends, teachers, and there is Pragya, relatives and society. Okay. Now again, when you say society, you're talking about group of people. You'd have to identify individual people. Who are the people who are adding value? So it'll be great if you do that because once you have a specific, you get more clarity. These are the people, and this is what I have to do for them, right? Okay, so as we know the value chain concept, we are going to look at a little case study which is more related to work. Let us say this is the most relatable case study. So Ria has recently cleared her interview and she has been hired as an intern for a crucial project in, say, XYZ company. Due to work from home environment, she would be provided with basic infrastructure by the company. Who are the people who will help Ria in her career at work? So personal front, we have understood how a value chain looks like. Let's look at professional front. Right. When we will start working, who are the people initially when we start working are going to add value to our life? Remember, these are exactly the same people who will add value to each of us, each of our lives when we start working. So of course, when you put yourself in the middle, when you put Ria in the middle, when she goes two relationships or three relationships, yes, Kanishk, absolutely correct, supervisor. um, so Ria is in the middle. She goes towards the right. One is a trainer or the HR. The HR will be explaining about the company, about the process, policies. All of this will be explained by the HR. So the first day when you join an organization, the first interaction that you'll have is with an HR. He or she will get your documentation done, your banking process done. All of that will be done by the HR. Next is your trainer. Your trainer will be explaining you about the process that you'll be in, training you on that specific process. Next is, of course, your manager. So once you're trained, your manager will be allocating roles and responsibilities to you, will be communicating anything that you do. All of this will be communicated by the manager. And then comes the team. Of course, you will have interactions with your team, internal and external. Now, right, important part of your value chain, right? Dependency is there. And when Ria goes towards the left, she has most important Wi-Fi service provider. So her home Wi-Fi service provider is an important part of her value chain. And last but not the least, admin. The admin team who has given her the laptop. Right. Of course, she can add more people there. This is just few people that we have named. Of course, there could be more people who are adding value to Ria's life. It is important that we identify, right? And it will be great if you put the first person first in terms of priority. Say, for example, here Ria has prioritized Wi-Fi service provider, right? Above all, she feels Wi-Fi is more important, and which is a fact today, right? If you're connected and if you're able to attend colleges online, we are doing it virtually. So Wi-Fi is a must for all of us. So I think Wi-Fi service provider is an important element in value chain. Any thoughts? Any observations? Anything that anybody wants to add? Let me read what Ayush says. Ayush says, firstly, my parents have first place in my life, then the teachers who will acknowledge me about how to be successful, how to survive. Then friends is also essential part because a good friend can't be found. Okay, wonderful. Right. It's important that you have a clarity of who's adding value to your life. So that's value chain for you. Anybody who would like to add any inputs, please go ahead. Any observations? Come on, don't be so silent, at least in the last day of our session today. Be interactive. I'd like to hear you guys speak. Was this helpful? Was this helpful? Okay, thanks. I can hear you. Okay. Jasimar says personal value chain. At the right side, my family, teachers, friends, and on the left side is society, like doctors whom I consult, farmers. Correct. That's a nice one. I think going so far and also finding out farmers as an important part of our value chain. Absolutely correct. Okay, wonderful. So now that we've understood value chain, let's look at a beautiful story. It's a story by Charles Plum, who is a U.S. Navy pilot officer. He is asking a beautiful question. He says, "Who's packing your parachute?" Okay, so it's a beautiful story on how he survives from the enemy's hands, and he survives through one person whom he has never interacted with, never ever, and that is the time he realizes how important it is for us to kind of acknowledge and talk to people who are around us, right? Let's watch this little video that I have for you. and then we will discuss. And I'll ask the same question again. Who's packing your parachute? Just a minute, please.
Sir, sir,
Sorry,
kindly
sorry.
answer.
Yes, sorry. So the question is, who's packing your parachute? Also, what did we learn from this particular video? What is the learning that we picked up? Okay, Mansi says this was really an amazing video. Okay, but what did you learn from this video, Mansi? Being grateful and being thankful for the people. Okay, Nidhi says appreciate each and everyone in your life. True, absolutely right. Correct. And it's important that we maintain relationships, because if we don't do that, it's very difficult for us to grow in our careers, right? So when this question is asked, who's packing your parachute, I'm sure we have multiple people who are packing our parachutes, who are being our backup, right? A lot of times, let's appreciate them, let's recognize them, because those are the people who are adding value to our lives. right? So with this thought, I'll quickly take a pause. I hope the value chain concept is clear. Yeah, Aditya says we have to appreciate and be thankful with every person. It's true. True. Agreed. All right, wonderful. So with this, we are going to transition into the next part of our training. Um, since today happens to be the last day, we will be covering a few Q&A questions that are asked in a job interview. Pragya says people who add value to our life, we need to recognize them and appreciate them. So true, Pragya. Absolutely correct. We need to do that. Agreed. Right. Wonderful. So let's move ahead. I am going to quickly share my screen with you guys. I will be we will be doing this questions that are asked in a job interview in a little fun way. Let me know if you can see the wheel of life. Can you see the wheel decide on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So I am also reading out few responses. Jasimar says we should have value each person who contributes directly or indirectly and appreciate them. Okay, this wheel has already started. Let's stop this wheel for a minute. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure you guys got a hint of what we are going to do. So interview questions, they're asked to us, and it's important that we address each and every question that is asked. So we are going to try addressing at least 3 to 4 questions through this wheel, a little fun way to kind of bring in questions. And along with that, it's not that we'll not cover the rest. We will cover the rest of the questions also, but we'll go as per how let the wheel decide. That's what the name of the title says, wheel decide. Okay, so if you have any other questions that are asked in a job interview, you can post it in the chat box. I'm not sure if I'll address all of those. I'll look at the probability first. If the probability says that this question will be asked in an interview, I'll answer that, or else we'll skip that particular question. Because when I usually tell my students to post questions that are asked in a job interview, they go to extreme ends. And since we don't have the time and bandwidth, I would not want to cover those because I go on the basis of probability. So if you have any questions that are asked in a job interview, please post it in the chat box. I'll look at it and I'll answer that. Otherwise, I'll skip that particular question.
I think sir has some network issues. Ma'am, are we checking that?
Yes, Pragya. Let's join.
Okay,
Just
ma'am.
wait, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are not audible. We are not able to hear you, sir.
Gaurang, I think there is a network issue with the Gaurang sir. He is joining
No
in a
issues,
minute.
no issues. No problems.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone is here. Please, there's thundering issues in Mumbai right now. So there may be a network issue for a while. Till then,
Sir?
I
Sir, your
can,
voice is not clear.
yeah, yeah, but am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Now am I audible?
Sir, you're audible, but I think you also have some network issues because your voice is cracking a lot.
Wait.
Ma'am, we have Gaurang sir between us, among us, so
Okay, Prabhu.
can you help him to unmute himself?
Please make co-host for us.
Yes, sir. Yes. Gaurang sir, can you please raise your hand so that I can follow? Yeah. Yes, sir. You can proceed. And if you have given you permission.
Yeah.
Also.
Thank you, ma'am. I was somehow not able to raise my hand. So
No
thank you.
problem. No problem.
Okay, I'm so sorry. My bandwidth is not supporting me today. It's thundering in Bombay, so just a little bandwidth issues. Please cooperate for today. So I'm just quickly going to share my screen again. We were doing the Wheel of Life, and the first question that was displayed was talk about your weaknesses. So let's first address this question. Talk about your weaknesses, and such an apt question, right? And what a timing. The first question itself tells about talk about your weaknesses. So now, when you look at this question, let's first understand the intention behind asking this question. Now, usually the interviewer has more experience and more exposure, so he or she is very well aware that people, what they do is they fabricate when it comes to sharing their weaknesses. One thing that I always recommend students to do and practice is honesty. I think that is one best practice that I've recommended people to do most of the times. So when we talk about our weaknesses, we should always now what is it that the interviewer is looking for? He's looking for you to be honest, right? And he's not just looking for you to talk about problem and leave it to that. He's also looking at a solution along with that problem, right? So say for example, you are a person who is short tempered, or you have time management issues, or you are somebody who is not very well organized. That's absolutely fine and that's okay, but don't just leave a problem with a problem, right? You can also find out a solution. You can try to identify a solution to this problem. Say for example, your weakness is you get short tempered, right? So what can you do in this situation? You can communicate it clearly to your interviewer that this is my weakness. One is being honest, and second is how you're working on it, right? So there could be various reasons how you're working on it. It could be, doing a little bit of meditation, yoga, understanding the other person very well. I think one of the most beautiful concepts that we learned yesterday was empathy, practicing empathy. I think these are few things that you can do in order to work out on your anger, right? So when we talk about our weaknesses, don't try to fabricate, because the interviewer knows more than you. And I've also seen people who say that I don't have any weakness. That's not possible. That basically means you have not taken the effort to identify what your weakness is, right? So in this case, what happens is you have not taken the effort. That basically means you have not invested in knowing yourself better. So be honest, communicate that this is your weakness, and at the same time, give a solution also along with it. Say, I just told you anger. Say, for example, you cannot manage your time better. What is something that you're doing now? Right? And understand for a fact that we all have weaknesses. We are humans and we have a weakness. Don't, and again, I've also seen people, in fact, in my last session, there was one student who said, I'll leave it on the interviewer to identify. Why is that so? Who has spent the maximum time with yourself? You, right? Not the interviewer. So why would you want to leave it on the interviewer to identify what your weakness is? You're 21, 22, 23, 24, whatever your age is only because you have known yourself better. And that is the least that anybody could expect. So again, when we talk about our weaknesses, be absolutely candid about it. At the same time, also give a solution. Right? Don't try to portray your weaknesses in the form of strengths. Don't ever do that, because that's manipulation. And as I told the last time, if you are not being honest, you might not be invited for any job vacancy that the company has in future. So be honest. Do we have any questions related to this particular question? Talk about your weaknesses, or anything anybody wants to add, please go ahead. The most common question that is asked in a job interview, and until the interviewer doesn't ask you this question, please don't go ahead and communicate it directly. Right? Take that little pause, and when you're introducing yourself, take that little pause, bite your tongue if you are talking about your weakness. Let the interviewer first ask what your weakness is. Only then you communicate. Okay, Rachna says, can we say our weaknesses is our parents? Now, okay, let me tell you this very honestly. Your weaknesses can never be people. Remember that. It is always based on their action or reaction that you get from people, right? So your weakness can never be your parents, or you trust people very easily. Never ever portray your weaknesses in terms of people, because they can never be your weakness, right? You remember we did this little exercise on storytelling. I said only you can decide the end of your story. Similarly, you have a choice, Rachna, right? You have a choice to not keep them as a weakness. Like, you cannot really have human beings as your weakness, right? You'd want to, usually the actions that other people portray are your weaknesses. So I trust people easily and my weakness is my parents. Please don't say all that, right? Probably there's something that is your weakness is basically an attribute that the other person has done, or you have identified that you're not good at something, right? So probably highlight that. Okay, Ayush says, sir, should we tell our weaknesses to someone? Because if we will tell our weakness, so he can utilize our weakness as a weapon. Not really, to be honest, Ayush. So weaknesses, this question is only asked for the interviewer to know for a fact that whether you know and you have identified your weakness and how honest you are. Never do that, just simmer. Never portray your weakness in a positive way. Your weakness is a weakness, right? How are you working on it can be portrayed in a positive way, but don't portray your weakness in a positive way, right? Don't try to, that's what I say, don't try to fabricate or sugarcoat things. Leave it as it is. Okay, Pragya says, I often get nervous at the time of presentation or performance or anything, even if I'm fully prepared. But then I always take a deep breath and do my work. After the session's over, the feedback I've always got that people were not able to sense that I was actually nervous. See, wonderful, a wonderful portrayal of how, what was the problem and how are you able to deal with that problem. So see, in this case, the interviewer knows for a fact that, okay, one, you're honest, and second is you also have a solution to your own problem. That's the best part. Right. So that answers your first question. Tell me something about your weaknesses. Let's quickly roll the dice and see how it goes. Okay. What is your short term and what is your long term goal? So come on. Can somebody help me understand why this question is asked? Yes, Jess Simmer. Sorry. You were trying to say that the solution in a positive way. Okay. Okay. The next question is, what is your short term goal and what is your long term goal? So let's first understand the intention of asking this question. First of all, whenever you're hired in an organization, the company usually pays a lot of money in terms of your training, in terms of a lot of other infrastructure requirements, right? So what the company is expecting you to do is stay and stick along with the organization for long. And for this particular reason, this question is asked: your short term and your long term goal. Now, basically, short-term goals are those little goals that you want to achieve before even you reach to your long-term goal, right? So be specific. What is it that you want to achieve in the short term? It could be as simple as now. A lot of people say my short-term goal is getting into this organization. Come on, don't say that. Your short-term goal should be related to a specific project or something that you want to do, right? Don't try to say that my short term goal is to get inside this prestigious company just for the sake of it, right? So portray it in a way it's supposed to be. Say for example, your short term goal is for you to grab some learning opportunities as a fresher. That's the best thing that you can do. In fact, yesterday I was having a conversation with a friend and my friend told me that I'm doing something which I'm not asked to do, right? Should I be doing it? I said, what do you think? He says, I think I should do because I'm a fresher and I'm interning right now. I think. I said, then go for it. That could be a short term goal, right? So understand, learning opportunities or anything that will help you grow should always be a short term goal, not any company which will help, I mean, where you want to be placed. And long term goal, as we all know, we did SMART goal setting, right? Specific, measurable, actionable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. These are 5 things that your SMART goal should have, right? And which should be a long term goal, right? So of course, a lot of people also say that I want to be the CEO of the organization that I'll be working with as long term, right? But again, understand one thing: it's not humanly possible, and it's not completely believable also, right? Nobody reaches or becomes a CEO even in the long term. It takes time, it takes effort, right? So don't talk about positions, talk about few learning opportunities and where you want to reach as a human being in an organization, right? Don't talk about designations. Don't say I want to be a CEO, or you can say that I want to handle some crucial projects in long term, right? So that's something that you can say, but don't say I want to be the manager or senior manager or director or senior director. Now, when you kind of say all of that, it becomes okay, fine. It's fine to say. I'm not saying you shouldn't be saying that, but I think what you should focus at when it comes to the start of your career are learning opportunities, and it's great to merge your learning opportunities with your short term and long term goals. Okay, I'll take any questions if anybody has before we move on to the next question. Any questions? Any thoughts? So we've picked up 2 questions so far. One is, what is your short term and what is your long term goal, and talk about your weaknesses. Wonderful. I like this response by Jasimar. My short term goal is to explore as many opportunities I can and brush up my skills. Beautiful response. And I hope that's exactly what you want to do. Wonderful. And how about your long term goal? What is it that you want to do in the long run? I like that response. So what I usually do is I take a screenshot of whatever I find interesting. So I've just taken a screenshot. Ravi says, can you please explore short-term goals a bit more? So Ravi, short-term goals, say for example, your long-term goal is you want to be like, for example, if you ask me, my long-term goal is I want to work in a reputed organization at a senior position. That's my long-term goal. Now, for me to be able to achieve that long-term goal, there are small little short-term goals that I'll have to achieve, right? Straight away, I won't be able to achieve that long-term goal, right? So for me to be able to be at a superior position in a specific organization, I will have to ensure that I pass small hurdles, right? Be at an executive level first, right? Then move into managerial level and then superior level, right? So these initial levels are called short-term goals. And the ultimate goal is to become a supervisor or a superior person is the long-term goal. Wonderful, Vivek. I want to open a startup after my master's. Great. That's a long-term goal, Vivek. So short-term goal should be anything that will help you to achieve that, right? Great. All right. So shall we go to the next one now? Should we do the we'll decide? I like this name, we'll decide. It also says we will decide. Okay. Okay, here you go. Talk about your strengths. So we've taken talk about your weaknesses. We'll talk about your strengths now. So I think I've answered this on the first or second day. Here also a lot of people choose to manipulate, and people love talking about their strengths because it's considered to be a good quality that everybody possesses. The last time when I had a discussion with you, I told you a few things like always talk about your tangible strengths first, then your intangible ones. Tangible ones are the ones which the other person can see. Say for example, you have scored 95 out of 100 in economics in your school, right? Or in your math class. Talk about that first. Why? Because they are tangible in nature. You can actually, the other person can actually see in the form of a certificate, right? But intangible ones are the ones which the other person cannot see, like hardworking, loyal, trustworthy, leadership quality, time management, all of this. That's one reason why we'll have to prove every time with an example, right? Every time when you speak, we have to give an example to that. So that's one reason why when you talk about your strengths, one is be absolutely honest and be prepared for a, like for example, when you talk about your intangible strengths, be prepared with an example always. Say for example, leadership skills is a strength that you were talking about. Give one or two instances where you realize that you have that particular quality. Only then it's believable, right? The interviewer knows you for only 5 to 10 minutes, and in that 5 to 10 minutes, how he or she will be convinced with your intangible strengths. With always, he'll be convinced with an example. So always give an example to support, right? So I hope that is also addressed. Do you have any questions related to talk about your strengths? Any questions related to strengths? Okay, Jay says my long-term goal is to implement all my skills, experiences, and what I have learned in my own startup, and also at all the places where I will work to create some value for me as well as for the organization. Wonderful. Anything that you want to ask in terms of talk about your strengths? So we have taken 3 questions so far. Talk about your strengths, talk about your weaknesses, and we have also taken another question, which is what is your short-term goal and what is your long-term goal? Do we have any questions so far? Are we okay?
Okay, so Krishna, I would like to tell you something.
Yes, I see Harshit raising his hand. Go ahead, Harshit.
So first of all, I have given you these 5 to 6 parameters, right? So please make sure that you cover all.
Yes, Harshit, you have raised your hand. Do
सर
you want to
मुझे एक
ask anything?
प्रॉब्लम हो रही है सर आपको जब मैसेज कर रहा हूँ मैं तो वो जा नहीं रहा.
Okay. I'm not sure why. Because I can see few people messaging me. I can read their messages. Not sure why.
सर
You
ये
can now that you are
not in this meeting.
Okay, whatever question you have, you can ask me now since you've already unmute yourself.
ओके सर। सर मेरा क्वेश्चन था, जो स्ट्रेंथ है वो हमारी वीकनेस और स्ट्रेंथ मिक्सअप हो सकती है कि मतलब दोनों हो?
मैंने इसका आंसर दिया है अर्षित पहले कि strengths और weaknesses are two different things and should never be merged. Strengths should be shared with your self introduction. Weaknesses अगर आपको पूछी जाए तभी आप बताओ. So unnecessary, you don't have to say it, right? If the person asks you, only then you will go ahead and share your weakness.
ओके सर, ओके।
All right. Okay, fair enough. Thank you. All right, we'll move ahead. I'll quickly spin the wheel.
Once again, I'm extending my apologies for my
Okay.
in this session.
Why do we hire you? Another important question that is asked in an interview: why do we hire you? Let's start with the reason why this question is asked. The very first reason is for the other person to understand and know whether you have done a little bit of research about the company. Very important. So research about the company basically means, do you know at least what the company is into, or what do the company do, right? So in this case, you will have to be very careful in terms of knowing about the company. Don't just go on Google, type the name of the company and visit their website. Go to the news section and check what's going on about the company. What is the trend that is going on in the company? Let me share with you another insight. Just give me a minute. I'll quickly display. How many of you all have explored the Glassdoor? Have you all explored Glassdoor? Anybody? Does anybody know what Glassdoor is? Okay, I'm not sure if you guys have, but I'll quickly share my screen and show you what a Glassdoor review looks like. So this is Glassdoor for you guys. This is how it looks like. Okay, Just Simmer has explored. Wonderful. So have a look at this. This is how it looks like. So you'll have to first create an ID of yourself when you are logging in. There are a list of companies that you can visibly see here. There is Sutherland here, you can see. Say, for example, if I want to click on Sutherland right now, I want to see how the company is in terms of its employees, in terms of the work culture, what a few clients that they have, what is the company into, all of this information you will get on it. Even the ex-employees who have worked in the company, you will have an idea of that as well. And how much salary were they drawing is something that you can also see. So here, here you can see about Sutherland. So here they have mentioned what Sutherland does. So it says we are Sutherland. Okay, I can't read it. Yeah, at Sutherland, we help strengthen our client brands. There's a lot of information that you can get. What we do, what we offer, why Sutherland, what are few testimonials, all of these things you'll get, right? Also, you'll also get few employee feedback as well. There are few points which are criticism as well. It completely depends on what you, what feedback you get. Also, other employee reviews, people who have worked before, what are few points that they share. These are also a few things to observe. So yeah, if you look at overall perspective, this is how the Glassdoor review looks like. Right? So you can always go ahead, explore Glassdoor. It's a wonderful medium and opportunity for all of us to kind of understand about the company, to know about the company rather. So this is Glassdoor for you. Coming back to this question, why do we hire you? The very first thing the very first way to answer this question is, as we know, the interviewer is asking you based on whether you have done even a little bit research about the company. So do a little bit research, understand what the company is into, what are the goals that the company has, what is the latest news and trend about the company that is going around. Do that research very well. Okay. Also, when you are called for a specific interview, you have to be also prepared with the JD, which is job description. Now, job description is a document that is given to you much before you apply for that job. It basically talks about what is the requirement, what is something that you will have to do in that job. And for you to do that job, what are the qualifications? What is the qualification, technical and non-technical, you should have? So that is your job description. So job description basically is a document which you will get from the recruiter or from the HR. All that you have to do is you'll have to review that document, see if it matches your profile, and only then go ahead and apply. Now there are times where it also happens that I've seen people not reviewing the job description at all, and they're applying for the job interview. Don't do that. First, try to understand what is the job criteria, what are few skills that they want, and only then go ahead and apply for that interview. Yes, just Simar. You can also include how we will contribute. Yes, I'll come to that. So yes, why do we hire you? The very first thing is first review the job description. Go ahead and understand what the job description is and why we should be considering, right? So for example, in the job description it says presentation skills. So why do we need to learn presentation skills? Why, and do you have that specific skill set? So what I recommend you to do is go to that JD document, job description document first, and understand. Sorry, just a Sorry, am I audible to you guys? My connection is kind of unstable. That's what notification was.
Are you audible?
All right, fair enough. Thank you. Okay, so when we say first go ahead, review the job description. Job description में कुछ important words होंगे. Try to pick up those words from the job description. See if you have those skill sets and speak, and then you can talk. Then you can give an answer. Say for example, in my job description, excellent presentation skills, communication skills, problem solving skills. ये तीन चीजें दी है. So then when I'm answering this question, I will say, I think you should hire me because I have excellent presentation skills. I'm a great communicator because I've been giving trainings since a very long period of time. And I think I have great problem solving abilities because I've been taking sessions and I've been into a lot of difficult situations. You can explain the situation, one or two situations. And that is why I feel I'm the right fit for this job. So what you're doing is when you're able to relate yourself to the job description, you know that you're giving a customized answer to your HR. You're not bluffing around, right? So you first check the job description, pick up few important keywords and try to frame sentences out of those keywords and speak. That is one thing that I always recommend you to do. Any questions, any thoughts?
Sir, are you speaking anything? You're not audible to us. Sir, you are not audible.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
All right, fair enough. Sorry for that. I was actually answering a question. It says the question is very interesting. Rachna says if we have almost all the skills mentioned in the JD except one or two, but we are ready to get trained on those topics, should we apply or not? Now, Rachna, if those are technical skills, say for example, if they require somebody who's an MBA graduate, then and if you're not, then it will be difficult for you to crack that interview. But yeah, if there are some skills which are non-technical based and if you're ready to learn, then it's fine, you can apply. Say for example, you feel that you don't have good time management skills and that is what is mentioned in the JD, you can definitely go ahead and apply. But the technical related hai, and if you don't have that specific skill, you cannot. The reason why is because a company will not be willing to invest their time, their effort, their money onto you to learn a new skill or to train on that specific skill. They would want somebody who's already trained. They would hire somebody who's already trained on those skills. So that's the logic behind only allowing people who are I mean, that's one reason why they have a technical and non-technical parts in a job description.
माझ्या कॉलेजचा ट्रेनिंग मला मिळाला.
All right, so I am going to quickly display the next question. It's already up. It says, tell me something about yourself. I think I've answered this yesterday, and we had a little, I think yesterday and day before we've addressed this question. Now let's understand the reason why this question is asked. One of the most important reasons is for you to be comfortable when an interview starts. So usually what happens in an interview is you're meeting the interviewer for the first time, and we are a little anxious, we are a little nervous. But one definite thing that we plan it very well is tell me something about yourself. The interviewer knows very well that you learn and you by heart this whole thing and go. So, and when you by heart certain things, you're very confident. That's one reason why this question is asked. Tell me something about yourself. Or another way of asking this question is run me through your CV. Right? Don't get confused if somebody says run me through your CV. The person is actually asking you to introduce yourself. Right? So that's one reason why self-introduction is important, so that the person runs through your CV, and if there are any questions that the person can pick up out of those, say for example, you have shared your hobby is reading books, and the interviewer might ask you, tell me any book that you have read, what is the learning that you picked up. These kind of questions can also be asked to you. So tell me something about yourself. We've addressed this. We've had a formal introduction. We did the 3 C's also: context, conflict, inclusion, or the basic introduction. We know how to go about it as well. So one way, the reason why this question is asked is because for you to be comfortable with the interviewer. Let me take a pause for 10 seconds to see if we have more questions. Okay, let me see. All right, so I think, okay, just a minute, please. I'm quickly going to sign in. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you the last part, which is LinkedIn. Professional way of connecting with anybody and everybody. So I'm just going to quickly show you how it looks like. Apparently the last LinkedIn profile that I had was, apparently I had to remove it because I had forgotten the password, but this is the new one. So this is how your LinkedIn profile looks like. How many of you all have LinkedIn IDs? I hope we all have created a LinkedIn profile. A very professional way of connecting with people. Okay, Harshit does. Okay. So there's nothing to learn. I think it's self-explanatory, but I'll just give you an overview of how it looks like. So this is the LinkedIn profile, and so you can probably start posting. I'm sure it looks similar to Facebook. You can start a post, and you can select which is the audience that you'd want to view, and those people will be able to view your posts. Now, the very first thing is you'll have to create an ID, and I think you can link it from your Gmail ID as well, so that there is no continuously, you don't have to create new passwords, right? So if you click on your profile, you'll actually be able to write and manually put in the entries. Where are you currently working? Which school have you which school were you from? You can put in your graduation details as well. You can also put in a professional photograph along with any other cover photo. It's very similar to Facebook, by the way. Sometimes I feel very weird that am I actually showing Facebook or I'm showing LinkedIn? It's pretty similar. Go ahead, mention something about you. What do you do? What is your current designation? If you're a fresher, you can go ahead and mention fresher. And this is how the dashboard looks like, basically. And also, if in case you want to search for somebody, you can always go ahead and search for that specific person on LinkedIn. And if that person is there on LinkedIn, you'll be able to find him, right? Also, work related, if in case you're looking now, LinkedIn will ask you two options. Do you want to use LinkedIn for learning, or you want to use LinkedIn, are you also looking for a job? So you can definitely go ahead and if in case you're looking for a job, you can mention that. You can also mention the relevant skills. Say for example, if you scroll down, you'll be able to see open to work, which are the places that you're, I mean, what are the job titles that you're open to work, and which locations are you ready to work. So I have selected Mumbai and Pune because I feel I'm comfortable working there. Start date and what type I'm looking for: full time, contract, internship, temporary, whatever. Right. So I always recommend students to, explore this. It's a great place. I think you will be able to find recruiters, and whichever company you include or whichever college you include, you'll be able to see that in the posts. Whatever posts they have uploaded, you'll be able to see that. I think the company that I've worked for, the post also is pretty much visible. So that's how it looks like. I would definitely say go ahead, explore it on your own. There's no rocket science to LinkedIn. It's similar to Facebook. Actually, the whole idea of LinkedIn is spoiled. Earlier it was way different, but now there are no changes that they have made. It's very similar to Facebook. And people who are not on LinkedIn, please go ahead, make your ID. There are many opportunities which we'll miss out if we don't have a LinkedIn profile. Okay, so go ahead. You can also go ahead and share your LinkedIn profiles with me. I mean, you can go ahead and start forwarding anything interesting that you find on LinkedIn. I'm active now, so you can definitely drop in a message or say hi. That's a place that we can connect. I'll drop in my email address as well. As and when you feel like connecting with me, you can definitely send a message. Okay, so I think this whole journey that we've had of 5 days, I think it was amazing. So many learning opportunities that we picked up, and also just to highlight a little bit of the work that Global Talent Track is also doing. So before that, I am also going to share a link to you all in the chat box. Just give me a minute. That happens to be the feedback link for this particular 5 days that we have spent together. Please don't miss out on that. It's an important part of the process. Please do complete the feedback. And I think the link is only active on 24 hours. Okay, 1 minute. Saksham, I'll answer that question. Just a minute. I am able to see it. Saksham says, what are few questions that we can ask the interviewers? I think yesterday I have covered that in questioning skills. I think a few beautiful questions were asked by students. I think you can always go back and refer to that conversation. Okay. So the feedback link is shared in the chat box, students. I think one thing that I would want to highlight about Global Talent Track is we have a strong placement cell, and we have a team of experts who work rigorously day in and day out. And we have an exposure to a lot of multinational companies like IT, BPO, hospitality, banking, insurance, finance, and many places, right? Education institutes. So we also provide placement opportunities to students. So our team of experts will definitely call you in near future, and we'll try to understand your preference of work, your location, industry, and we'll collect that information accordingly, right? So that's something that we'll definitely do. Also, I'd like to probably show a little story. I mean, the corporate film of GTT, of course. This is so relatable to me, and every time I watch this, I'm able to relate it to myself, because I think each one of us have dreams. We all have ambitions, and one of the nicest thing about dreams is that they are also associated with other people, right? Family, friends, and we would want to see them happy, and there are so many things that we want to do for them. But sometimes we don't have the necessary skill set, or we don't have the required set of people around us to guide. So I think one such story is of a girl called Poonam. Let's quickly watch this video to understand what transitions had she had to bring in, and why the story is so relatable. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
India is a land of young dreams. "350 million youth from over 600,000 villages and nearly 500 small and big cities, some of them equipped with very basic amenities, dream of a future of comfort and luxury. These young people carry forth the collective aspirations of extended families and even entire communities. Strewn among these dreams are inspiring stories of grit. One such story is of Poonam, a farmer's daughter, hailing from a quaint village in Shrigondam in Ahmednagar district of the state of Maharashtra. Like farmers across the country, Poonam's father spent his lifetime cultivating his patch of land. Dependent on the vagaries of nature for his yield and struggling to make ends meet. And like so many other Indian families willing to sacrifice so much for the future of their children, put in all they had to ensure that Poonam and her two siblings got an education.
तिचे दागिने घाण ठेवून सावकाराकडून कर्ज घेऊन प्रसंगी जमीन घाण ठेवून असे पैसे उपलब्ध करून तिचं शिक्षण केलं. आपण आपल्या कुटुंबाचा जर विचार करत बसलो आणि 10वी नंतर किंवा 8वी नंतर तिचं लग्न केलं तर ती तिच्या मुलावर तेवढे संस्कार देऊ शकत नाही. जरी परिस्थिती नसली तरी काहीतरी करून त्यांचं शिक्षण पूर्ण केलं पाहिजे. जरी जॉब नाही केला तरी तिची आर्थिक कुवत म्हणजे जशी असेल तशी तिची बुद्धी वाढली पाहिजे. तिच्यावर तिने ते जे शिकली तिच्या मुलावर जरी संस्कार केले त्याच्यामुळे आणखी एक पिढी चांगली घडेल असं मला वैयक्तिक वाटतं. समाजाने मुलगी फक्त चूल आणि मूल इथपर्यंतच न ठेवता मुलींना पण मुलांची इतका बरोबरीने वाटा देऊन त्याचं टॅलेंट पाहून तिच्या कलानुसार त्यांना शिक्षण दिलं पाहिजे. त्या शिक्षणातून आपला समाज घडला पाहिजे. जर आपला विचार प्रगल्भ असला तरच समाजाची उन्नती होऊ शकते.
As a child, Poonam went to a government-run village school equipped with basic infrastructure.
सांगितलं ना आम्हाला शिक्षकांनी तुमच्या मुली खूप हुशार आहेत बाबा, तर पुढं तुम्ही शिकवलं जास्त तर फायदा होईल त्यांच्या पायावर उभ्या राहतील त्या. काही का आपल्याला त्रास का व्हायला पण मुलांना म्हणजे तिन्ही मुलांना आपलं त्यांच्या पायावर उभं केलं मग जबाबदाऱ्या संपल्या ना.
तिचं प्राथमिक शिक्षण चालू असताना जे काही आवश्यक बाबी असतील ते तिचे पालक पुरवायचेच, परंतु एखाद्या वेळेस अडचण जरी असली तरी ते सांगायचे की 1-2 दिवस थांबा, पण आम्ही ते कोणत्याही परिस्थितीने ते तिला देण्याचा प्रयत्न करू. स्पर्धा परीक्षा असो, वेगवेगळ्या परीक्षा असो, त्यांनी त्यात भरपूर सहकार्य केलं.
माहिती होतं घरची परिस्थिती की काय आहे, कसे करून बाबांनी पैसे कमवलेत, कसे करून फीजसाठी भरले. त्यावेळेस पण फक्त अभ्यासावरती कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन केलं की नाही, ह्या प्रत्येक गोष्ट माहिती होती की हे असं वाटायचं की करावं, पण नाही, अभ्यासावरती जास्त कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन केलं. जर काही काम असेल तर त्यांच्यासोबत जाऊन थोडंफार त्यांना प्रत्येक कामात मदत करावं लागायची. एखाद्या वेळेस जास्त काम असेल तरी पण शाळा बुडवून देखील आम्हाला रानामध्ये शेतामध्ये काम करायला यावं लागायचं. शेतामध्ये आता लिंबाचा बाग आहे, तिथे लिंब गोळा करायला यावं लागायचं. इवन कधी खुरपणी किंवा काही असेल तर आईसोबतसुद्धा शेतामध्ये यावं लागायचं. मग त्यावेळेस शाळेत न जाता ह्या कामाला आधी प्राधान्य द्यावं लागायचं, कारण शेती हा आमचा प्रमुख व्यवसाय होता. आता क्वालिफिकेशन तर पूर्ण झालं, इथून पुढे आता फक्त ध्येय किंवा म्हणता येईल की चांगल्या कंपनीमध्ये चांगल्या पोस्टवर जॉब मिळाला पाहिजे. आईबाबांनी जे आत्तापर्यंत कष्ट केलं त्यांचं कष्टाचं चीज झालं पाहिजे असं काहीतरी करायचं आहे. मग त्याच्यासाठीच आता प्रयत्न चालू आहेत की चांगल्या कंपनीमध्ये जॉब कसा मिळेल आणि त्यांचं स्वप्न कसं पूर्ण होईल.
The school did its best in the given circumstances, but it was time for Poonam to move on. The unconditional support for Poonam's future now came from the extended family, as Poonam moved in with her maternal uncle's family in order to pursue her university education. Blending into the family of her local guardians, Poonam takes on a share of the household chores.
स्ट्रगल तर फार वाईट राहिलं तर 6-7 महिने तर जायचं इंटरव्ह्यूला, घरचे पैसे खर्च करायचे, आल्यानंतर परत नाराज व्हायचं. मामाचे म्हणजे 8 दिवसांनी करू, 10 दिवसांनी करू, परत त्यांचा कॉल नाही आला की परत हरेच व्हायचं. परत श्रीगोंद्याला जायचं, परत मामा मी येते, मला परत दुसऱ्या कंपनीत बोलवलं. हा स्ट्रगल तर ॲटलिस्ट माझा 6-7 महिन्याचा चालू होता.
Poonam passed out from JSPM College after completing her bachelor's in computer science and master's in computer application. Despite her postgraduate degree, sadly, employment still remained a question. So was all this sacrifice worth it? Like so many young graduates eager to begin a career, Poonam faced the situation of having completed her education, but employability still remained a distant dream. It was during this frustrating phase of her life that Poonam was introduced to Global Talent Track, a path-breaking skills development venture set up by some of the best minds from the industry, academia, and technology domains.
What is unique about Global Talent Track is the fact that we start by understanding what are the customer's expectations with respect to specific role. Then we go granular in terms of identifying how do we translate these skills into training, the requirements of skills into training, what is the right pedagogy, what is the right content, what is the best way to assess whether the student, the learner has actually assimilated all that is required of them in that short duration. And thereafter, we go and identify the candidates who can actually absorb all of this learning in that given period of time.
GTT was set up in 2008 with a vision empowering youth worldwide and a mission to skill 2 million by 2022.
The students who come to GTT come with a dream, carrying with them the sacrifices of an entire family and sometimes the aspirations of a community. What GTT gives to them are the skills that transition them from being students who are educated to professionals who are employable. On the other hand, employers and corporates who work with us carry with them an image of a professional who needs to achieve a certain outcome, a certain business goal, and that is what we do, skill and train.
At GTT, we recognize that first-time jobs are critical to help young people develop essential skills that will assist them throughout their career development.
Growing the business, making it profitable and sustainable is what every organization should look at. However, at GTT, we strongly believe that the growth should come by doing good towards all our communities through our various CSR projects. One such community that we are trying to build is the student community, and we are sure that this is going to be one of the largest community for students in Pan India. Our team of experts are spread out across this nation and trying to understand from college principals, TPOs and professors as to how GTT can bridge the gap between the academia and the industry expectations. I urge every student of this country to come and join this community and make their journey towards employability a lot easier. I welcome you all to take charge of your career. We are with you.
GTT has upskilled and imparted training to 1 million students since its inception. At GTT, Poonam comprehended an innovative approach that could prepare her to succeed in today's competitive landscape.
In GTT, we conduct two kinds of training programs. One is for our internal employees and the other is for our external clients. As far as internal employees are concerned, we conduct training programs which help in competency building. For example, we have something like a campus to corporate program which helps students who have joined us in our organization become professionals and develop their professional skills. We also teach internal competency development programs like conflict resolution or problem solving. As far as external training programs are concerned, we do domain-specific training programs as well as employability skill programs. When I say domain-specific, we conduct trainings, for example, in IT-related fields or in FNA-related fields. IT-related fields, we would train students usually on Java, C#, .NET, etc., which are the latest trends. And as far as FNA is concerned, we would teach students or corporates domains like fundamentals of accounting or SAP, which is a niche training program.
One of the major pros of this program, I would say, is that we got an insight into the corporate world and small, minute details that transpires in an organization. How to prepare myself for the interview if I were to attend it just say tomorrow.
During the initial times of this training, I couldn't even introduce myself in a strong and confident manner, but I'm proud to say that within a span of 10 days, I've completely overcome that fear.
Feedback from the students are excellent, and I'm very happy that 1,000 students of this college is going to be trained by GTT.
Well timed, the training program at GTT was able to successfully provide Poonam with a viable employment opportunity.
I had a dream to work in big organization on good position. I want to become something in my life, but I'm lacking in my self-confidence. I attend this training program. It was really great experience for me. I learned lots of things from this training program. I enhance my self-confidence. I improve my employability skills. As well as interpersonal skill. It was really very beneficial for me. I learned lots of things from this training program. After that, I got placed, and my dreams comes true. I'm very happy to working with good organization. Thank you, GTT.
Today, the young girl from a little village is a project coordinator in the Maharashtra Police.
There are many corporates out there who are seeking the best talents to come into their organizations. And we understand that there is a whole
is a
pool of
professional
talent
training
that is
counselor.
waiting to meet up with their dream jobs. At GTT, that's what we facilitate. We ensure that we give you that pathway to meet up with the best jobs, the best companies that you have been dreaming of. For that, of course, there are various skills that you need to garner, that you need to get yourself upskilled with. And here at GTT, we promise you an environment where we will take care of all these skills that you need to put into yourself and make you fit to be delivering from the first day of your job. Our corporate partners over the years have all chosen GTT as their favorite partner of choice when it comes to training. We wish all of you a very bright future. We hope that you walk into our portals and walk through out of these doors waiting with wings to fly.
Employee engagement at GTT we measure in different ways. One of the important aspects is definitely having fun at work, and we have a lot of events throughout the year around the festivals and other occasions. The other things which we measure engagement is definitely internal growth opportunities, and it's a proud moment for me to say that there are people who have moved internally into different job roles, either promotional or lateral. So the other things which we look at in employee engagement is also the pride in which people associate themselves when they work for GTT, and this is the pride which gets translated in every project they take up. Our employee engagement is basically driven around these primary factors.
The perseverance, hard work, commitment and sacrifice of the entire family has paid off well, and it is time to celebrate. Having displayed the right attitude, demonstrated appropriate behavior, and carrying herself with confidence and determination, Poonam strives for excellence in her professional life and is focused on her goal. Her future has just begun.
Global Talent Track is a unique company because not only in India but all over the world, we have this vision to really empower people worldwide. And to do that, we are already training over 100,000 people every year. But how do we make a difference to 2 million young people by 2022? To do this, we have embarked on many missions. The first mission is what we call our technology mission, to invest in digital technologies that can really bring the power of capability to young people. The second mission is the mission of collaboration, where we would like to partner with any enthusiastic college or university, all corporate sector participants who would like their people to be more successful, and make them more successful with skills and capabilities for the challenges ahead. And finally, we really believe that it is high integrity, the ability to do what we say and say what we do, and a passion for excellence, which is the core value which will make us successful. So we look forward to GTTians being successful all over the world. We look forward to everybody at GTT being empowered with this vision and really making a difference worldwide.
We like to thank GTT. Thank you.
I think it's so relatable to kind of watch this and know for a fact that we've had these instances where we want our families to be proud of us. We want people who are associated to be proud of us. But all that we need is the right place, right? A right place where we can project ourselves, where we can show our talent or something that we possess, but hone our skills. I think Global Talent Track is a great place. Let me quickly share the feedback link. I'm not sure why that was not working, but here you go. There is one feedback link that I've shared in the chat box. Go ahead, complete it. It's an important part of the process. Okay. Also, since we have the last 10 to 15 minutes left, I'd want to know how was the experience that you guys had in this training, and what are few things that you learned? Share your experience. Share how this entire session framed for you, and what are few learnings that you picked up. So how is today going to be different from tomorrow is what I want to know from you. So I would love if you unmute and speak. And I think this is the last 10 minutes that we have is a great opportunity for all of us to unmute, to share our experiences, to share how the session went by, and also even if there are a few things that you didn't find okay, you can communicate that. I know I was not able to completely answer all the questions, but yeah, considering the time that we had. Okay, so a quick feedback, please. I know you all will be putting your feedback in the link, but I think a feedback. Yes, Pragya. Pragya, and then probably Ankita. Yes, we'll start from Pragya first.
Sir, the session was really wonderful. I mean, we got to learn many things like how to be ourselves, how to present ourselves, and how to be confident. And when it comes to interviews also, you taught us many things, like how to give the answers, whether it is closed-ended or open-ended. But the best part of the session, which I liked, was the method you used to teach us. That is unforgettable. I'm sure that none of us are going to forget these key points, like the thing you use, like pizza slices and that Romeo and Juliet, the two fishes. That story, I'm sure none of us will forget. So the method was really amazing. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I know it was very well received by you, Pragya, and thank you for all the coordination and for being an important part of my value chain for 5 days. So thanks for that.
My pleasure, sir.
All right. So yes, Ankita. Yes, go ahead, Ankita.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so sir, I just want to tell you that you are a wonderful speaker and you actually have the confidence to address the audience, and the way you have communicated with the people, that showed that at such a young age also you are able to gather a huge audience. Generally in webinars people get bored by taking it, but the way you've handled everything is really appreciable. And obviously the new things that you taught us, the new words, you enrich our vocabulary, and actually you have something in you, something unique that that attracts everyone. So I really like that.
Thank you so much, Ankita. And I think this was only possible because you guys participated. And I think there were times where there was absolute silence, and I saw a few hands raised, and I know you were one of them. So thanks for being the constant support for me to run this session. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir.
Great. Anybody else? Adarsh, I have shared my LinkedIn profile. I think that should be of help to you. Also, I'll share my direct email address if in case you'd want to be in touch. Is always my email address. All right. Anybody else with their experience? How did this 5 days shape up for you? Okay. Just a minute. Yes, Lakshmi. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening, sir. Firstly, I would like to say I agree with Ankita. The way you handle us, the way you answer us, not even skip a question. That's really appreciating. And the way you connect with us and make this interactive and a fun session, we didn't get bored at all. We attended all 5-day session. Instead of the fact I don't have net, but I exhausted with your webinars.
Okay.
And at the day end, I am like doing my coding and all. क्योंकि नेट तो बचता नहीं आपके sessions के बाद, I still attend them and thank you for the words, for the skills, for the interpersonal skills. We do have that skill and but we don't realize मतलब हमें कहाँ पे use करनी चाहिए. जैसे आपने बताया emphasize, हम उसको बोलते हैं कि हाँ हम ऐसे करते हैं, but जब करने पे आती है बात तब हम नहीं करते. आपने वो realize कराया that we should do, मतलब कब करना है और किससे कैसे क्वेश्चंस पूछने हैं. और मतलब एक ये कैंपस ही नहीं है, खुद के लिए भी अपने आप को ग्रो करने के लिए भी इम्पोर्टेंट था. एंड आई रियली एंजॉय इट. थैंक यू सर.
Great, thank you for that, Lakshmi. And I think soft skills are life skills, so I think we can apply this at any arena of our life to succeed. So great, good to know. All right, I can see few responses coming here in the chat box. Anybody else who'd like to add anything? Yes, I'm sharing the feedback link again. Just a minute. Just kind of copying it. Yeah. Okay, so any other experiences? I thought we'll have 5 minutes. We'll have people talking in, so at least to share their experience, to see how it went up, because I think me as a facilitator, what's more important is the learning that you picked up. Nothing of the appreciation that I crave for, but the learning that each one of you all have picked up. So I think that was a value add. That's exactly what I want to know. What are a few things that you learned, and have you been, I mean, was it able to transit you into being a better person? Let's take last 10 seconds to see if we have more people coming in. Otherwise, we'll wind up the session. Okay, I'd also want to thank people who are posting their responses in the chat box. I think great that you guys had a good time. I wish this session was a little bit more longer. We could have stayed along for a little bit more time. There were a few things we could have covered, which I didn't want to miss, but somehow, considering the time and bandwidth, we couldn't complete. So, yeah. Yes, Jasimar, go ahead.
The way you tried to connect with all of us and clear all the things was really wonderful. It was a great experience and learn.
Okay, thank you. Glad that you liked it. Thank you. All right. So I think I'll quickly end the session now. I'll hand it over back to the host. Thank you everyone for being lovely participants. I think I had a wonderful time connecting with you all. So many learnings individually that I've picked up, which I'll most likely be applying in whatever I choose to do from here. And I wish you all the very best. And I'll hand it over back to the host. Pragya, go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for this beautiful session. The whole 5-day program was really very interesting and interactive. So we are smitten with you and want to learn more about you. All the students are inquisitive about you and would like to know more about your journey. So, like, as in where you began your professional career, what challenges you experienced, and how you overcame them. So please, if you can just let us know.
Okay, I'll do the same context, conflict, conclusion, so that I can also start applying when I narrate a story. The context starts from I started my career. I mean, I am basically from a Maharashtrian family, and I started my career from a BPO. I was not sure what to do because I started working pretty early when I was 15. Unfortunately, there were circumstances in my house. I had to start early. I started off early, and then after that, I think I moved in from that particular position. One thing that I learned from that place was call handling skills, customer handling skills, communication. My communication wasn't that great. And another reason for me to be there is for me to learn. So and then I started from a domestic BPO because I had a lot of mother tongue influence. I worked on my communication. I started interacting with people randomly on the phone, Airtel, Vodafone, and they'll not laugh at you because you're their customer. So that was one added advantage for me. If you do that with your friends or family, you kind of tend to have people laughing at you. That was the context. Everything was going well. The conflict was the fact that the challenges, one was a single parent. I mean, my mother is a single parent, so it was definitely difficult to raise. Also, circumstances were such that I couldn't complete my education, but I felt that I shouldn't be stopping here. There are a few certifications that I completed. Now, the virtual tools that I have used, I think Quizzes was one of them. I think Miro, and I also completed one more tool the other day, a Mentimeter. All of these tools, I have invested some amount of my time, my energy, and money to learn these tools. And of course, what I always thought is learning never stops for me. So the conclusion here is, for me, I think every opportunity that I got, I have grabbed that opportunity as a learning experience. I never said no to things that I don't know. I stepped into that. That was another reason why I should be knowing that, in fact. Also, one thing that was definite is the fact that unless I won't try, I don't think I'll be able to. In fact, motivational speaking was one such thing that I was passionate about, but later on I figured out it's very subjective, and I don't think I'll be able to shape myself in any of these. And when you step into college or school, it's very difficult for you to make friends when you're from a vernacular medium. And one such object that you pick up are books. I think books can be your greatest friend. If there's nobody around you, you can pick up a book and start reading. That will definitely help you not only build in your vocabulary, but also learn something new, learn some new stories. So I think that was the whole journey. The context was starting off from a BPO. The conflict were the challenges that I faced when I started working in a BPO, in terms of my language, in terms of my communication, and the context is what you see right now. The conclusion. I jumped on to as a communication coach with my client. It's been 5 years now. Wasn't sure what I'm doing, but I was sure that I want to be a teacher. Not sure if I want to wake up at 5 o'clock and reach at 7 o'clock in the school and be that kind of a teacher. Not my kind. And dealing with little children and students was not my forte. Is not my forte even today. But yeah, I mean, students in the age group from 19-20 is fine, but below that, it's not my thing. I mean, I salute for the people who do that, but just something that's very difficult for me. So that landed me to this particular place. So that's the whole story. Like, I hope I was able to justify using the same PCs that I taught you all.
Yes, sir. Sir, the work you are doing is really appreciable. It is really great. So, like you talked about your mother, so I would like to know that how you balance your work and your personal obligations. Like, I'm sure life isn't always a bed of roses and it's a roller coaster ride. So, how do you deal with your problems and obstacles of daily life?
The best part about problems is the fact that, Pragya, they should be coming at a very early age of your life. Then a flat tire or a broken phone doesn't matter to you anymore, right? When you step out of your house and you see that your sandals are kind of not working the way they want to, for a fact that shouldn't be bothering you anymore because you've been through worse, right? What's worse that can happen? Right. So one thing that I always have is gratitude for the fact that there have been challenges early in my life, and those challenges has shaped the way I am today. So it's raining out there, it's thundering. I lost my Wi-Fi connection sometime in the middle. If I was this 5 years or probably 8 years ago, I would have been panicked by now. I think I would have probably been thinking about it all day. But the kind of person that I've become now, I know for a fact that I have no control over it. All that I can do is see if I have a backup. So I think always try to have a backup with you. And I mean, the more sooner these challenges come to you, the more nice is, because what we often do is we try to run away from these challenges. We often feel that, we're not ready or we're too young to face them. But I think the more young you are and the more challenges you face, I think after that, all these petty little things won't matter to you. What will matter is the work that you do. And most importantly, you focus on the right thing. Yeah, there are certain things in life you cannot change. right? So you cannot change the weather outside. I can't go ahead and try to cover the entire planet saying that please don't rain today, I have my session. All that I can do is keep my backup ready, yeah, so that whenever the rain stops, I'm ready for my session. So that's how it works for me.
So much, sir, for sharing your experiences with us. I know this will surely help us in our future and career as well. All your experiences. Now, I would like to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Tushar, Director, Up to Skills. Sir, may I request you to kindly address the audience?
Thank you, Pragya, for sharing mic with me. I'm really thankful to the management of Trinity College, the one of the most popular college of the IPU affiliated college. And I'm really thankful to Dr. R.K. Tandon, Honorable Chairman, Sir, Professor Dr. Barkha Bahal ma'am, who give us the opportunity to meet your students. And it's my special thanks to Dr. Mukta Sharma, Dr. Surbhi, Dr. Brahmpal Singh, sir, who coordinated with us and making this event successful. And I think Mr. Gaurang is shared everything which is required to be a campus ready guy, campus ready students to become a successful job seeker, and a student. So guys, we have a good team of trainers. Mr. Gaurang is one example of that team, and we have other trainers also for machine learning, for Python, for so many languages. So I would love if we receive feedback from your side, if you would like to learn something new apart from this training with Up to Skills. And I'm really thankful to Barclays for organizing this event for us and collaborating with us for the benefit of the students. So I think these are the whole words which I would like to share with you all. And thank you very much for participating. And I'm loving this kind of events, which kind of feedback which we're receiving from throughout the 5 days, and really appreciable effort by Mr. Gaurang to making this event successful. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Now, may I request the faculty in charge of this 5-day campus program, Dr. Surbhi Shankar ma'am, to kindly give the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Pragya. A very good evening to all of you. It's my privilege to propose the formal vote of thanks on the 5th and final day of the Campus Ready program. I wish to begin by thanking the Almighty God for making this 5-day session a resounding success. I am delighted to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our sincere visionary Chairman, Sir, Dr. R.K. Tandon, who, despite of his busy schedule, has taken time to inaugurate the session. It's always a pleasure to listen to you, sir. I truly grateful to our respected director, Professor Dr. Barkha Bahal ma'am, for her continuous guidance and encouragement. I'm sure the students and all the faculty members have a lot to take away from her encouraging vision and directions. I would also like to acknowledge our gratitude to Dr. Mukta Sharma, HOD, CS and IT Department, for her continuous and untiring support to all of us. We all are inspired by your hard work now. I'm grateful to Up to Skill that in collaboration with Barclays, they have proposed and planned the Campus Ready program and imparting soft skills training to our students. I'm thankful to our speaker, Mr. Gaurang Satam, for such an insightful session. It was really, really great, sir. I appreciate your way of interacting and involving students. I'm sure they must have enjoyed the clips and quizzes you have shared throughout the session with them, and they will remember it forever. I wish to express my gratitude to my entire department. I would like to thank the chief coordinators, Dr. B.P. Singh sir, Mr. Harimohan Jain sir, for their support. I'm very delightful to my fellow colleagues, Ms. Neha Agarwal, Ms. Shikha Bhalla, Mr. Santosh Kumar Singh, Ms. Sabha, Ms. Upasna, Ms. Ritika, for contributing their part flawlessly and untiring. Thank you all for making this event possible. I, on behalf of CS and IT department, would like to thank Musarraf. I'm very grateful to my fellow colleagues. And on behalf of CS and IT department, would like to thank Musharraf sir for making all 5-day session live on YouTube. I'm also obliged to all the department faculties to grace this 5-day session. This list will never complete without appreciating and thanking our student volunteers, Ms. Pragya Satakshi, Aditya Singh, Ms. Ankita, Ms. Shirodi, Harshit Goel for their hard work and dedication. They're really working hard. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the participants for their cooperation and involvement in making this event great success. Once again, I thank you all for your attention. Stay indoors, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, friends, with this, we come to an end of this 5-day mega program. I'm sure you enjoyed it and learned new lessons. I personally feel privileged to host this event 3 out of 5 days, and it was a very nice experience which I'll cherish for my lifetime. I'm really grateful to my teachers who believed in me and provided this opportunity to me to host this program, of course, along with Ankita and Shirodi. So thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I may request everyone to turn on their cameras for a group shot so that you may also cherish this event for your lifetime. Please let me know once the photograph is done.
We are done with the photograph.
Okay, thank you, Aditya. Thank you all for participating and making this program a success. Have a good day. Stay indoors, stay safe.